Ever wanted to breathe life into a piece of art? See a card move like you imagine it when you play it? Wondered what it takes to animate a Magic the Gathering card? In this video, I'll be breaking down the processes, concepts, and technical aspects of animating one of my favorite commanders, Teysa Karlov. To start, there are multiple ways to animate. There's projection mapping, using the puppet warp tools, and using footage or effects to make an image move. The process I'm showcasing here is sometimes referred to as paper doll and involves using Adobe After Effects and Photoshop to break up an image into multiple layers, and then manipulating those layers over time to create an animation. There's 5 steps to the process: planning, prepping, setup, animation, and final touches. To set expectations, this is meant to be a high-level overview and isn't meant to be an in-depth look into animation. Also, although there's a few shortcuts here and there, animation in general is an incredibly time-consuming process. One 4 to 6 second animation can take anywhere from 10 to 20 hours worth of work. First step is planning, deciding what to animate, and picking an art source. Art with a central figure or object is generally a good choice because it allows for focused storytelling and gets the audience engaged in a short time frame. Clear and simple separation of space between the figure, effects, and environment make for much easier animation. So sorry, Niels Ham fans. For the most accurate source, I refer to either the artists themselves or Art of MTG, wherever you can find the highest resolution image. If you're able to, support artists through things like purchasing prints, artist proofs, participating in Kickstarters, or subscribing to their Patreons. From there, I'll brainstorm ideas for the story I want to tell. What's happening on the card? How does it play? What's the character like and what motivates them? What effect do they have on their space and vice versa? What's everyday like in their world? Who or what do they interact with? Teysa has the energy of a mob boss's daughter, mixed with a church gossip, and interacts with spirits on the regular, especially in the guilds of Ravnica Block, where she synergized well with the afterlife mechanic. I'll then very roughly sketch out the ideas for the motion's key poses, trying to keep the animation between 4 to 6 seconds in total. That means I can only hit a couple of story beats, meaning it needs to be simple, clear, and easy to understand. For Teysa, I want to showcase her strong, powerful personality by having her stamping her cane and then having a few spirits whiz past her almost like she's beckoning them. The next step is prepping the art for animation. I'll open the image in Photoshop and very loosely draw outlines where I want to separate the art. From there, I'll break up the flattened image by duplicating the layers and removing the excess. Once the layers have been separated, I'll use color fills, the paintbrush tool, and clone stamp tool to replace the art and fill in blank spaces and then save out a PSD. Although this part is short in this video, this step is usually the most time-intensive part of the process, accounting for almost half of the total hours spent. We'll now move into file setup. To start, I'll import the broken up PSD into After Effects. Since Magic card art and widescreen videos have different aspect ratios, I'll need to recompose the art to fit by scaling and positioning the characters and art. Once the shot is composed, I'll set up a multi-plane camera for more depth by using 3-dimensional layers. For more info on multi-plane cameras, check out this video. From here, I'll create the camera move without any other motion. Next is rigging up the character. By adjusting the anchor points from where the layers rotate, scale, and move from, and then setting up a system of parenting relationships between the layers, I can create a simple character rig that can be posed to create motion, almost like a puppet. Next is animation. Using the storyboards as a guide, I'll create a series of key poses to get the motion roughed in. I'll then adjust their pacing and timing to emphasize the story beats, tweak their easing curves to make them feel more natural, and then offset some animations to make the motion more fluid. All of these processes are all based on the 12 principles of animation. For a more in-depth look at the 12 principles of animation, check out this video. Once a majority of the animation is complete, I'll move into finishing touches. I'll add in environmental effects like dust particles, dappled sunlight, and secondary characters like the spirits. I'll then animate the art transitioning into the final art atop a texture from Unsplash as a background. With all of the motion figured out, I'll make some subtle tweaks to increase the contrast and color temperature, and then add a vignette. Once I've reviewed everything, I'll export the animation out for various formats. And voila! That's how you animate a Magic the Gathering card from start to finish.